right, so let's go next to transactions. This section here, where we want to focus today is on statements. For self-employed employers, they only submit for themselves, right? Because they are the only employee there. So that's what we're going to be demonstrating next. I'm going back to view statements, and I'm going to add a statement. The last one that was submitted was March 2023. So I'm now going to add a statement for April. And to do that, we click Add Statement, and we select the period, which opens a calendar interface here. You can scroll to the various years, but I want to submit to April, so I'm going to click on April. That's going to surface here in the period, and I'm just going to say next. Once you see that button change, it's going to pulse a little bit, which means, hey, we're creating the statement in the back office for you, and then we're going to bring it up on the screen for your editing. Right, so that's happening now. So you see the top header here says the statement is in draft mode. That's in draft because we've not yet submitted it. Great, so below that, we see the important details of the employer name, the employer's number, the statement period that we're submitting for, as well as this payment reference, which will become useful only after the statement has been submitted, right? So even though it's being shown here, you can only use this after the statement has been submitted. So one key feature that I really like for self-employed, and it applies to voluntary contributors as well, is that you don't have to enter. You see this add employee modal for other employer types, and we don't need to do that because we already know who the employee for this employer is, and that's Esme herself. So we've already added that in here, as well as the weekly salary we've already added and calculated the contributions for each week. And that's because this was declared at registration, or maybe it was edited at some point during the year, but we already have all of the information needed. And so we've gone ahead and created this record here. You can't even edit it. All you need to do at this point is to submit. But you can do your checks. We have this view schedule button, which allows you to view the schedule that we've used to come up with the amount payable for this statement. So we see here that it's 7% of that value. So 7% of the 320 that was declared, that's how we come up with the 2240, and that's every week, and that's for a total of 8960. Great, so once that checks out, all we need to do at this point is submit the statement, which is clicking that button. We have a declaration here that we'd like you to review. You'd read that. You'd note this section around when payments of contributions and completed statements are due. And you click this button to conscientiously declare that this statement is true and the information here is true, and you submit. And you'll see this pulsing icon once again, and there we have it. We now have our statement for April. And that's how easy it was. So we created a statement. Your record in there was already pre-created for you. You can validate that the information on that statement is correct, and then go ahead and submit it. I could go ahead and view that again. That was for April. I could hit view. And we see that we'd see once it loads that the statement state has now changed to submitted. You can see here that this view statement section is similar to the view transaction section, just that it limits all of the rows in here to statements which have been submitted. And we have a payment reference field here, which you can search by payment reference. You could use that. So I can search 175,654. And so you can see it narrows down the rows that's shown in this grid based on your search criteria. What I want to also show is that you can view any of these statements in the past. And this opens a statement by clicking on view. And this gives a great picture of what was previously submitted. You can see here that the status is submitted. and you cannot edit this in any way, right? The only thing you can do here is to view.